September year 2007, 2 o'clock in religious building of Monash University. This is part of the research project about the meditation well-being. This interview is recorded by Chuen-Tat Kang for the Sunan Buddhist Society internal research project. So, Madam Ali, can you please introduce yourself and also your business in meditation as a part of the advertisement?
My name is Alice Andrews, and I've been following the Buddhist path for 27 years. I'm connected with Tara Institute, which is a Buddhist centre in East Brighton, and it's a Buddhist centre in the Tibetan tradition, particularly the Gelugpa tradition, which is the tradition of the Dalai Lama. So we have a Tibetan Lama there who teaches, and he's been with us for nearly 30 years. At that centre, I teach introduction to Buddhist meditation, and I also run a program for schools. So any schools who are studying other religions, including Buddhism, they come to our centre and I give some explanation of Buddhism and of meditation.
Okay, based on the experience of Madam Ali, from what aspect in psychology do you think that meditation will benefit the practitioners?
Okay, so we know that inside our mind we have negative thoughts and positive thoughts. You know, every person has a combination of negative thinking and thinking. So negative thoughts are thoughts that disturb the mind. So thoughts arising from anger, so angry thoughts, jealous thoughts, intolerant thoughts, thoughts of pride, thoughts of too much attachment, and so on. So these are thoughts that really disturb the mind and cause unhappiness. Then also we have positive states of mind. So we have loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, tolerance, patience, generosity. So these are the types of mind that create happiness. So from the Buddhist point of view, negative states of mind are impermanent and can be removed. So the process of meditation helps us to do that, to identify states of mind that cause unhappiness, to reduce them through analysis and meditation, and eventually to get rid of them altogether. But I think that takes a long time. And at the same time, we're trying to increase and familiarise ourselves with very positive states of mind. So mental clarity, compassion, loving kindness, and these sorts of states of mind.
Okay. The other worries about the non-Buddhist in meditation is that, do you think that non-Buddhist is suitable to conduct meditation, and will it be helpful and contradictory to other religious beliefs?
I think it's entirely possible to use Buddhist meditation techniques, and it can be presented in a non-religious way, no problem. I know that Greg Hassett is his name. He teaches meditation at this university, and it's stabilizing meditation, meditation on the breath, concentrating on the breath. Anybody can do this meditation, and definitely it has very beneficial effects. It's been proven scientifically that it can reduce anxiety, it can make the mind more stable, so it can be used by anybody. It doesn't matter, which religion. No problem.
Based on your experience, what are the differences between the Tibetan, Zen, Chinese, and so on, and then how can we differentiate different type of meditation, and how will it be helpful? What I mean is that, do you think that one person, let's say Chinese meditation, does this imply that similar methods will be used for the other branches of meditation or the Hindu meditation?
Okay, so I think there are many different types of meditation. The Buddha taught many, many different types of meditation. And this is because people have different minds, Some types of meditation suit some people better. So, for example, with Zen meditation, with Zazen, this suits some people very, very well. Other people prefer, meditation coming from the Theravadan tradition. This suits their mind very well. Some people like Tibetan meditation. It doesn't mean that one meditation is better than another. It's a different meditation to suit different people. Also, people have different capabilities. So some people are going to get much more out of a simple meditation than one that's very elaborate, that involves elaborate visualization and so on. So I think all the meditations from the different traditions are valid and useful. So it just depends on the person's needs and understanding.
Okay. One of the questions that might arise is the future potential of the meditation business for the Australian community. Let's say, do you think that it is possible to apply meditation technique to the hospital in Australia, let's say, to serve as a preliminary diagnostic purpose for those who might have some psychological problem? So from this perspective, do you think that there is any future potential to introduce the psychological method in healing the patients that has certain level of mental disturbances?
Definitely I think meditation can be an extremely useful tool in the right hands. It has to be taught by somebody who has a very clear understanding of its purpose and what it's going to do. Particularly if we're talking about people with kind of mental disturbance, it can be very difficult for people who have, who experience psychotic episodes or have really disturbed minds. Very difficult for them to do certain types of meditation. But I think that it can help if it's taught well.
But according to certain people, meditation is practice is different way can cause certain type of undesirable effect. For example, delusion, passiveness. So, in order to tackle these problems, so what are the corrective methods that could be used and preventive measures during the meditation? Because some people might not practice it correctly and then it might harm the health. So based on Nathan's opinion, so what are the specific preventions that need to be followed during the meditation in order to guide us to the right way to the health practice?
That's a really hard question, and a little bit outside my expertise, because when I'm teaching meditation, it's usually to people who might have some emotional problems, but not necessarily clinical problems. So I think very important that whoever is teaching the meditation, that they have learnt that process from a proper lineage of teachers, that their motivation is very pure, that it's not teaching meditation to make money, for example, but that it's done after a lot of analysis and study. I think it has to be approached very carefully.
Okay.
I think not everyone can, it can be very dangerous. And I know His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said, sometimes for people with very disturbed minds, that doing particular meditations can totally freak them out and cause damage. So I think it has to be assessed very, very, very carefully.
So based on the experience of Madam, do you what is the timeline that allow one meditator to practice? Let's say the recommended timeline, let's say in the recess time. Some companies might invite certain professionals in yoga and meditation to help the stress release. So based on the experience of Madam, how long do you recommend one person to meditate in such stressful condition per day if they are not used to meditation practice?
I think very short.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah.
And again, I think there needs to be some explanation about why you're doing the meditation. So some preparation. You can't just say, okay, now I'm going to meditate. So I think you need some explanation, and then maybe 5 minutes is enough in the beginning. But in my experience, because I have taught, in organisations, that there's quite a lot of resistance. So people are told to go to meditation class to reduce their stress by their bosses.
Yes.
Not very helpful. Not very helpful at all. It needs to be a choice. It's so important that it should be a choice.
Okay.
And also if the bosses are, encouraging their workers to meditate, they've got to do it too. I think better to start at the top.
But do you think that meditation is the only practices of Buddhists, or is it derived from the Hinduism based on the history of meditation? Because many traditions, for example, Chinese Taoism, Hindu, and Sikh, some Christians might know how to practice the internal reflection.
Sure.
So actually, what is the origin of meditation? You derive from Buddhist, or derive from Hindu, or derive from somewhere else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you find meditation in every tradition. You find some kind of inner reflection in every tradition, don't you? You find it in Hinduism, and of course, the Buddha was born into Hindu society, so he emerged, his practices emerged from Hinduism. So you find meditation in Christianity, Islam, I think in just about every tradition. So I have no idea originally.
That's just a curious question. Okay, so Madam, in order not to take your time, so do you want to make any further announcement or advertisement as a closing of this short interview?
Just that in my experience, meditation can be extremely useful. I think it would be useful to bring into hospitals. I think wonderful if it could be introduced into the workplace, but it has to be done very, very skillfully and with people who really understand what they're doing. Otherwise it puts people off.
Thank you very much for the interview session with Madam Ellie. So the time now is 2:50. Okay.